I'm uploading this mostly for my students that have asked me to do so over a long period of time. Just haven't done it. This was my pro fight that was on Camp Lejeune. The guy that's just leaving the cage now, Doug, he's probably the sole responsible person to get MMA legalized in North Carolina and South Carolina. So he's the man. The venue is Carolina Fight Promotion, which he owns. And at this fight that's going on right now, there's actually two current UFC fighters that fought on this card as well. They obviously were not in the UFC at that point in time. But this was my hometown pro fight. It was nerve-wracking leading up to it because I had three fights or fighters that had scheduled to fight, and up until one would back out, then the next one got injured, then the third one backed out, and then literally about a week before the fight, Joseph Sullivan, who's my opponent in this fight, stepped up and took the fight. My understanding, I did not know him at the time at all, but he, I believe, was a purple belt and was from Angels Muay Thai Academy or something like that, and didn't know much else about him. Didn't even know if that was true or not. And I had a plan going into the fight. A lot of the stuff I did, being the owner of the school, I didn't really have a trainer to help me out a whole bunch, so I had to do pretty much my own stuff. I had a couple people that would help me out a little bit with drills and rolling and sparring and that. You'll see Tommy Mossman, who's founder of Okinawan Tay, which is full contact karate, that style, and was a pro kickboxer a couple years back. And he helped me out a little bit. He'll be cornering me in this fight. And funny thing, I had a lot of injuries, and obviously still do for those that know me. And I had a hard time kicking with my right leg, and my left shoulder is pretty messed up. So the first day that he started working with me, I kind of let him know that, and he's like, "What? So you can't kick with your right leg? You can't punch with your left hand?" He's like, "What the hell are we doing here?" And told him that I had a game plan, and I know the joke that goes around. I think Mike Tyson came up with it first, like everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the face. Well, my plan included getting punched in the face of what I would hopefully do in that scenario. I got lucky with this fight that didn't really happen a whole bunch, but I wanted to stand up in this fight for a little bit to show some of the kickboxing skills that we do at the school, and then try to finish off with some jiu-jitsu. And I did just that. I did my game plan step by step. That shirt Mary made for me. It says on the sleeve, it says "Old Man Fight Club." On the back it says "Somebody please retire me." On the front it says "I'm too old for this shit." So it's kind of funny. That's Tommy, and Professor Jerry Rader, who's my instructor in the system of pancration or pancrase, a hybrid wrestling. He's a 3rd or 4th degree black belt in that now. He comes from a school that had some legends in it. He was one of the first guys to roll and work out with Nate Marquardt. When Nate the Great, he's in the UFC, was a Strikeforce champion when he was about 16 years old. Jerry was one of his, sparring partners and rolled with him. A bunch of other guys too that fought in Pride and that. Now, this isn't a great fight for me per se, because I really should fight at like 155, but I like to eat too much, so I fought at 170. And so Joe normally fought, I guess, at 172, 170 also, and so he didn't even have to cut weight or anything. So he took the fight. My game plan was to do leg kicks, and if I thought I can play with the hands a little bit, I would throw them after I got timing down, and then we would kind of take them from there and hopefully finish on the ground. So We'll see what happens here. We'll go play by play. Right there is the hairy chest of death. For those that have seen the Jiu-Jitsu gym video, you know what that means. You can check it out on the YouTube channel. But this was it was fun after the fact. But hometown, a lot of other martial arts schools there that don't particularly like me, they were out there booing, and of course the students, they were out there cheering. So I had some friends and family. If you notice that Mary was one of the cage girls, you'll see that at the end as well too. Murray also coaches the cage girls, because you will not believe how many of them walk around with the little round sign upside down. The referee was a professional kickboxer too. Is Dale Sunshine. So I wanted to get timing here, so we're moving around, and I keep my distance with the leg kicks just to see what I'm working with. And then you'll see me after I feel confident. Yeah, I shake my head there, that I felt that I had the distancing and I had his timing down. I knew how he was going to react. So I thought I would just keep throwing leg kicks to frustrate him and see where he went from there. But when I shook my head, I told him I got his timing, and he told me to F off, and that's when I laughed and put my hands down, a little cocky there. And the karate really helps out with the distancing and stuff. There I'm doing my little matrix moves, trying to not get hit in the face. There goes the takedown. So I try to get my favorite moves, the body lock takedown, which worked for me at this point. I didn't work a lot of stuff that used the cage, and I didn't want my opponent to use the cage against me, so I tried to drag him away from it so he couldn't use it as a tool or anything. And now it's going to happen real quick here, and as I'm fighting here, I'm trying to maintain position and control, and then he starts wrapping his legs around. I'm thinking, okay, what's he doing? And I figured right there, I'm thinking, oh no, has he got some kind of triangle working? I noticed the head. I slipped for the north and south choke, and then all of a sudden I feel somebody hitting me in the back, and I thought he was hitting me, and so I squeezed tighter. Referee stopped it because that was a tap, not a hit, and that was the match. So one of my goals before I stopped fighting was to be in the first round club, and preferably on the winning side. And so I got lucky with that. There's my sweetheart congratulating me. It's probably the best part of the night. And what was really great about this fight is my cardio always stinks, because I hate doing cardio. And so it didn't last that long. Afterwards, Tommy, he knew my game plan, and Jerry was yelling at me for doing stuff. Like I was throwing leg kicks, and he was like, overhand right, overhand right. He's trying to coach me to do stuff, which is exactly what he should be doing. And Tommy's like, he's got it. This is his game plan. Let him go. Let him go. And so it all worked out for my benefit that night. And then pretty much Doug just, asked me, normally that north and south choke is done with the arm in. I just did it just with the throw, just because that's what we practice, and I like that move. Here at the school, we had one person, Timothy Nobles, was really good at it, so we called that the Noble instead of north-south choke. And he just asked me about the school and what we practice, and we have a lot of stuff that we do, and so went over that with them. And it was sponsored. The fight was sponsored by Bud Light. So when I won, I thought I was going to get a Bud Light, so I mentioned that to him, and that was about it. So then we took some pictures afterwards, and then the next fight is with Derek Brunson, who has a school now in Wilmington, North Carolina, and he's a UFC fighter now, but this was prior to the UFC. And I saw him fight also in Wilmington, and it was kind of funny in Wilmington after he won the fight in the first round, because he's a phenomenal athlete. The guy actually hit him once in the fight, and I think this was his third or fourth fight. And he mentions to the guy in the crowd, he thanked the guy after the fight because it was the first time in, say, 4 fights that he actually got hit in a fight, which it says a lot for his ability. And I think he's in the top 10 of the best fighters in his weight class in the world right now. So he's quite the athlete, and we'll probably see big things from him. There's another UFC fighter, Sara. She fought before me on this card. We might get a video of her soon, and so you can see. And later on, when Doug stopped promoting the fights, I ended up buying the cage for him. So it was kind of nostalgic, kind of neat. And that's this cage that we have at the school right now. We still use it. It still has the Carolina Fight Promotions logos and that on it. So there you go. My pro fight in the last couple minutes, however long that was, and hope you enjoy. I'll be adding more fights, more videos, not just mine, just stuff from the students. So if you like what you see, and some of them I won't commentate through them all, I'll just let the actual commentators do it. And take a minute to hit the little bell there on YouTube so you can subscribe and follow us. On the channel, we'll have a lot of other stuff too, techniques, seminars, demonstrations, day-to-day life, and some other cool things that'll be pretty fun. So subscribe to the channel, like and comment. Appreciate you for watching.